What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Joe with Meteoric Serpent coming at you for the first time with the Colubrid Corruption Podcast. Guys, I'm super excited to be doing this. This is going to be awesome. I am also very excited for today's guest. We're going to get to him soon. But guys, if you haven't already, say what's up in the chat. Also, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, like this podcast, push me on the algorithm a little bit more. Let's get some more subscribers. Really want to get this podcast built up because I really want to share these species that I love and I just want to educate more people about. So guys, this is going to be awesome. Let's see who's in the chat tonight and then we'll get into our guest. First off, Johnny, my guy, what's up, man? How you doing? Thanks for being here. Brock on his personal account, not the Morphinary Arts account. North Star Mike, what's up, man? How you doing? Eric's More Factory, what's going on? My dad, what's up? Big Keys, what's going on? How you doing? Thanks for being here. Morph Valley, Man Freddy, what's up? Alex, all V-Unit fam, lots of fam in here. Row 5.0, thanks for being here. Bosa Reptiles, Sultan of Support, then Heath and Hatchery, Brian, what's up, man? Justin from Pressure P, what's going on? My partner in crime, Wiz Constrictors, my dog, Wizco represent. Let's see who else is in here. Ray, my guy, what's going on? Ken, how you doing? Emilio, big dog. All right. Guys, without further ado, let's get right into it. I'm going to bring my guest out. I am not going to put the comments on the screen only because it's going to be more like interview style. We're just going to be talking, going back and forth. But yeah, let's bring him out, guys. Thank you so much for him being my first guest and someone I've considered a friend in the hobby for quite a few years. My buddy, Kevin Sheahan, Offspring Reptiles, and special guest Michelle, his girlfriend, with him today. What's up, guys? How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, thanks.
Good. I'm excited to be doing this. So for those who may not know, Kevin and I have probably been talking on Facebook for the last 6 years, maybe.
Quite a while.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So let's get right into it. So where are you guys at in the country? Let everyone know where you're at.
So we actually just bought a house in August 21st. We bought our first house together. We're in Lockport, Illinois. So if you're at Tinley, we're about 20 minutes from there, 20 minutes from Tinley. So getting us to stay away from Tinley will probably never happen.
Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that too, because vending at Tinley is an awesome thing. Something people love doing. It's arguably like the biggest, one of the most renowned shows in the country. So absolutely, that's just awesome. Yeah. And then your brand, Offspring Reptiles. Let's hear a little bit more about that, because I know it's not just you. It's more of like it's a family thing. So correct. Tell everyone about that, like what's going on with it and how you got started.
So Michelle actually just asked me yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like, how did the name Offspring Reptiles come about? I was like, to be honest, I really don't know. My oldest brother, he's 35, I want to say. Hopefully I'm not dating him, because he'll be pretty pissed. But I am the youngest. I got a middle brother who's 32, and then I'm 27. So I got into it when I was 3 years old. I got my first corn snake. It was a snow corn snake when snows were like $20 a piece. There were so many of them.
Yeah.
Not like today, how much they are. So basically from there, we had carpet pythons. We did about carpet pythons for 10, 15 years. 1999 is really when we got our start and stuff.
Okay.
But even before I was born, my dad was breeding Baird's rat snakes. So my dad's a mechanic. I remember going down to his work one day, going through his toolbox, and there was a picture of a snake on eggs, and I was like, "What is this?" He started telling me stories, and then when we got home, pulled me in his bedroom and actually on top of his dresser, and I think they're probably still there from like the early 90s, or a clutch of Barrett's rat snake eggs that are dried out in there. So from 99 to, I was junior high, it was like, I'd rather be interested in the girl. So I kind of got reptiles, went away for a little bit, and then went through high school and had a bunch of geckos. And I was like, I graduated in 2014, so stayed with the geckos for a little bit. And then I want to say 2017 is when at Tinley, somebody on one of the Facebook pages had a pair of scaleless Texas rat snakes.
Yeah.
My dad was messaging the guy, and my dad bought them. And then I told my dad, those things are badass. I want those. So he's like, all right, you can buy them off of me. So I bought them off of him. He's like, okay, now what are you going to do with them? So I'm still living at home. This is 2017. And I raised them up. He's like, okay, well, they're of age now. He's like, you going to cool them? I was like, yeah, they're ready to be cooled. I let them clear out. It was like this time of year, November 1st hit. I stopped feeding stuff. And then as soon as Thanksgiving hit, I threw them in where I grew up, there's an entrance to a crawl space. So it maybe didn't get the coldest, but the light cycle definitely helped. There was no light for until Valentine's Day is when I took them out that year.
Yeah.
And then my dad's like, okay, now what? So I paired them together. They lock within like 5 minutes after, like, I fed them, I want to say 3 times. They shed once, put them together, and then they locked. I was like, all right, cool. So I think not expecting, like 5 weeks later, I came home from work one day and there was a clutch of eggs. I was like, okay, I was not expecting that fast. My dad and my brother both messed with retics, and we've had clutches of those before. So those take a lot longer from, lock to actual eggs, where these was 5 weeks right to the day. So I incubated them. And then my whole goal with the project was I saw the scaleless cystics, and those are, I think they're the most beautiful thing. And my first one that hatched out was a scaleless anery, and I didn't know what the hell it was or anything. I asked my brother. My brother's a high school science teacher, so he's all in the genetics and everything. He was a major in college for biology. So I asked him, I was like, what is this? And he's like, I'm pretty sure this is scaleless anery. And he's like, but I'm not sure. So another couple eggs hatched. Then somehow a scaleless leucistic hatched out. And not knowing, like, I want to say I paid like $300 for the original pair.
Yeah.
Apparently the guy didn't know who he bought them from, that they were double heads. And that's kind of where everything just took off from. Yeah.
No, so that's amazing, like looking back at where these genetics were at even then, because I think, as we know right now, so you're the only person in the country, I think, with scaleless aneries that we at least know of. Because we're kind of there on the Facebook groups and whatnot. We don't have any like sleepers who are holding on to any scaleless aneries besides the one I have from you.
Yeah. So Adam Wolf of Mortal Coral Serpentry, I did a trade with him. I want to say sent him a trio of scaleless aneries. Okay. And then Terry Wright, I just actually sent him a female he purchased from me.
Very nice.
So there's maybe 5 other ones out there.
Yeah.
And then up in Canada, NBK Reptiles, they have some. They're not from me. Okay. So I'm not exactly sure where their originals came from.
Interesting.
They made hats and then bred them back and whatnot. So.
Yeah. No, totally. Gotcha. Yeah, so I wanted to dive in a little bit about the Texas rats, because that's the species me and you love. That's our bread and butter. That's what got me into the hobby as well. A little backstory from me. What happened was I was 10 years old going into my local pet shop that I eventually worked at a few years later. But I was 10 years old, walk in with my dad, and we see there a $35 snake, Texas rat snake. I want it. It's the cheapest one in the tanks and whatnot. I'm like, Dad, look how inexpensive it is. It's so, it's cheap. It's cool. We could get a cool pet. Sure enough, we get it.
One there too, right?
She was a little bit, but I tamed her out. Yeah. She was good. So we take her, raise her up and whatever, and then later proof. So when I was 10 years old, I got her in February 2011. So she was a 2010 baby. Later proved her out. I want to say it was in 2019 that she was het for scaleless.
Yeah. So because You hit
Yeah.
that clutch, and then
I hit that clutch where I thought I hit a scaleless anery, and they were they were super dark when they started. But yeah, it's just amazing seeing, we're seeing a lot more of the scaleless stuff now, but knowing that an animal from back in 2010 was het, it's just like cool to think about,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I also wanted to go into a little bit about like just overall care of these guys, and you and I both know they're relatively easy, but just going over like husbandry for the people that don't know, like simple. I mean, I could say I keep mine in racks, in ambient, but like what do you do at your house? What's going on there for your Texas rats?
So since we made the move, I was able to make my own reptile room down in the basement. Before that, I did everything out of my bedroom. So
yeah,
there was no heat in there. There was absolutely no heat. I didn't heat the racks that they were kept in. I had them in 10 gallons on their sides. I made little drop-down doors for them. They worked that way. So the way I look at it is keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
If it's working for you, then it's working. It's all trial by error. So as of right now, I've got most of my adults in an ARS 5040, which is what I'm looking at right now.
Okay.
And that's in the room, but right next to it, I've got ball pythons underneath them in that rack. I've got blood pythons in the rack next to it, and it's all. I keep it at 78 in the room year round, for as long as we've been here. And then Thanksgiving they'll be going. I showed you before we started, but I've got a 8x10 room right next door that's got a coal chute. Our house is old, so it's kind of got some old stuff, which actually worked out for us because I can open it just a little bit to let some cool air in there for the winter to cool them down. So
100-year-old farmhouse.
Yeah, 100-year-old farmhouse. So it's got its quirks, but but housing wise, I keep it real simple. It's either aspen or reptichip, depending on the time of year. A lot of times, like if I'm not cooling stuff, I like doing reptichip in the fall and winter, because in Illinois it's dry, you got dry heat and everything, so it's just a little bit of humidity. But I have kept them on aspen year round, and they've been fine shedding and everything. Water bowl, and that's basically it.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm pretty much the same. They're in my garage here in Florida, and the ambient temperature in here actually stays around high 70s to like right around 80. It doesn't really get past that unless the garage is open for an extended period of time. So I'm kind of there with you. And then going into, you kind of started it about the brumation, but do you think your location in the country affects anything at all with their care? Because I know for some people, sometimes it does, with depending on the species. But besides being able to brumate kind of naturally, because you could stick them in that cold temperature.
Yeah.
Anything else you notice?
Light cycle has a lot to do with it.
Okay.
To be honest, you could probably keep them same temperature year round, but if you give them a dark period, they'll probably go in the spring.
Yeah.
And I actually talked to you about it. I've already tried pairing stuff up because at Tinley in October, I sold out of scaleless stuff. I've got nothing that is just a scaleless. It's all scaleless leucistic, scaleless double hets, scaleless anery. For somebody who just wants something scaleless, it's kind of not affordable, $1,000, $2,000. For a rat snake, where if you go with just a scaleless. So I've tried something a little different this year, trying to get 2 pairs to maybe go before winter.
Okay.
And then you and I also talked about a quick cool down, a month or something, and trying that. I've had success doing that too.
Yeah, so last year I did kind of an abbreviated brumation just because of the temperatures outside, and now even this week it's hot again. I was outside sweating today. Like it's super hot. So it just but my room's staying colder. It gets colder at night, I would say, obviously, than the summer. But yeah, that's the downside of living in Florida with colubrids trying to brumate. But yeah, and then breeding. So I'm sorry, were you going to say something?
So that's also kind of a downfall up here where it's you kind of rely on those temperature swings and everything. Well, last year was kind of a weird winter in Illinois, so I only had 2 females that went out of 25 last year.
I know you told me that. Yeah, that was rough.
It was rough, but I'm in it for the hobby. You know, I'm not here to make $1 million off of it. So if I hit, I hit. You know, if I don't, I still like them. I like looking at them. Because if you can't enjoy the shitty times of your breeding, then you know you shouldn't be in it, because you're always going to have a down year, or something's not going to work the way you want it.
100%, and that's a great message to put out there to newer breeders of any species, because that's something we're starting to see kind of in the hobby, and it leads into a question I have for you later about like the direction and like the overall market right now. But yeah, people get discouraged by little things, and then you know we're seeing collections go for sale on Facebook. I think it's just crazy. You know, if you have the love of the animal, you're going to keep keeping the animal.
Absolutely. You know, out of 25 females, and they weren't even scaleless, they were hets. So I produced one scaleless last year, and that's primarily what I work with, are scaleless. Luckily, it was a scaleless leucistic, but that was the only scaleless I produced last year. Yeah. And that's 5 het scaleless females, and then 20 adult scaleless females. So, you know, if you want to talk about getting discouraged, that's right there. But, you know, I come home from work every day, come down here, and it's, you know, it's relaxing. Come open tubs and get bit every once in a while. So.
Doesn't even say hi to the girlfriend, goes right down.
What are you doing? What do you want for dinner? Just leave me alone for a second. Let me relax.
Yeah. No, I gotcha. And then you started getting into it before about the breeding. So now you pull them out from the brumation. You said
Valentine.
You said it before about 3 meals, and they're pretty much like ready to go. You put them together.
It also depends on how they look coming out of brumation. You know.
Okay.
If you're new, I would definitely say get some good meals in them. You know, I like to push stuff, I would say, but you know, if obviously they're not healthy, I'm not going to do it.
Yes. Yeah.
But even if I do see them lock up, I'm feeding them right after they're done locking up. Separate them, feed them. Do that every week. You know, and being a Texas rat snake, they sure like to go to the bathroom. So.
Oh yeah. I'm well aware.
Oh yeah, but you know, it's just gives you more time to interact with them, and everyone's like, you know, the Texas rat snake, it's mean. I can go in basically any cage here. There's one female who was a wild caught. She's 2 years captive. Well, this will be her 2nd year coming up. And she's hit or miss, but I can go in any one, give them a little tap on the head with like the back of my hand, and grab them in there and take them out.
Yeah.
Michelle won't do that. Michelle won't do that.
I won't. There might be one that I'll do it with, but even he could be hit or miss.
Yeah. No, and I'm with you, and they absolutely get a bad rap in the hobby. And if you look up a Texas rat snake, what's the first picture you're going to see? One with its mouth gaping open.
Yep.
And yes, it's what they do. And as babies, it's cute. They'll bite you a little bit. And yeah, sure, I get bit by new hatchlings. My adults, as they grow, and even the, I'll call them like even juveniles at this point, the ones we hatched this year from our clutch, like I don't get any aggression from them. I don't know about the ones I sent to you, but like they're pretty solid by me.
No, I mean,
go right in, pick them up.
Yeah.
And if it's going to be anyone, it's going to be a scaleless Lucy, because
for some reason those are always the ones that are.
They're a little more cantankerous. Yeah. And then going into feeding, because I know you do feed some bird, right? You feed, is it quails?
I feed all my adults extra small chicks.
Chicks, okay.
Chicks, yeah.
So funny enough, I don't know if he's here, but MJ, one of his sponsors, Trap Talk MJ, shout out. One of his sponsors is a quail breeder, and he's like local to me. So I'm actually going to probably pick some up from him, like frozen thawed quail, and get some for my juveniles and adults.
And so that's also another thing is like people, you know, when you feed them aviary, like birds, their poop stinks.
Yeah. I've
fed rats, I've fed mice, I've fed chicks, I've fed quail chicks, I've fed geckos that have died in the egg. I've fed just about everything, you know. And it's a rat snake. It's going to stink. It's their digestive system, you know.
Yeah. So, and they're super quick metabolisms. Like they're pooping in a couple days. And
3 days for an adult to digest a chick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
I can get a 2-year-old female. She's big enough to breed. I'm not going to breed her, but she's up to size.
Right. Gotcha. And yeah, for me, anything that's bigger than like a hatchling, anything that could start taking rats, I tend to start feeding rats. And that's only because I'm just trying to get some size on them. I know some people prefer the mice because of the extra calcium and stuff there, but I definitely want to incorporate the quail because I think that'll be key to getting them a bit healthier and also diversifying the diet.
Exactly. So like I talked about earlier, that wild caught that I've had it'll be going on 2 years. She was found in a chicken coop eating eggs.
Yep.
So, I mean, what are they eating in the wild? Birds.
Yeah, 100%. And these guys are a little more arboreal than most people would take them for.
Yeah,
they can
for
climb
sure.
and they love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. And then overall in the project with the Texas rat snakes, is there any particular thing you're working towards? I know you have your one little special secret. Your wild caught animal is a cool one. You're trying to see if maybe that'll prove genetic.
The greenish olive color looking one.
Yeah.
So I haven't met, like, that's kind of like down the line. I'll plug him into some scaleless stuff. My main goal right now is scaleless snow.
Okay. Scaleless snow.
Matt Most, he said, I forgot who the breeder was, said he had some. Guy has since gotten out of the Texas rat snakes. I don't remember what the breeder's name was. I know he had a lot of them. So I'd like to see those, like to make some of those. It'll probably be another 2 years for those.
Okay.
If I'm lucky. Sometimes they say the move helps breeding stuff. Sometimes it makes it worse. So the blood pythons, I'd say definitely help because I've had 7 females lock with whatever male I throw. So
that's good. That's solid. It doesn't usually go that way. It's really hit or miss when it comes to moving. But I don't know how far you went and whatnot.
Yeah, 20 miles south. So
okay.
In the same state, but I mean you're still moving places, you know.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, and I know with my projects, I have those cadmium individuals. I definitely want to work towards that scaleless cadmium, see what that kind of looks like, because that's a whole different color palette that we haven't seen on the scaleless.
Absolutely. And then Zach's zone from, I want to say he's from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
He's got a couple scaleless, and they almost look hypo. So.
Really?
Yes. I don't know if he sent those to you in pictures or not, but they're interesting looking for sure.
I don't think he sent those to me, but we've been talking about the scaleless cadmium stuff. I think we're on. That's who I got the animals from.
Okay.
They're from Zach. I think we're on like the same timeline to make double hats and then eventually go for the double visuals. But what he said is that he wanted it to be his own stock. Like he raised animals he produced. He probably could have been ahead, but he wanted to do it with his own animals, which is very cool in itself.
Absolutely.
You know, I could tell he has a lot of passion. He definitely doesn't like rushing things. He kind of thinks it out, but yeah.
Exactly.
And if you don't mind, can you show a scaleless anery for the people? Because I just think they're absolutely amazing. I'll take out yours too, just to show, but.
You want me to turn it for you?
No.
Oh.
So this is the original male scaleless anery that I hatched out.
Oh, yeah.
So I hatched out a pair of these from the first clutch that I produced of scaleless. And the female, I just think I pushed her too much with food. She regurged once and just kept regurging. I tried everything. So, and she, like you can see, he's got more of a black and white. I think the one that I sent you had some more blue tones to him and purple tones, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
So the female, actually, she was like blue and purple and black. So, you know, you try pushing stuff and then you realize, you know what, I pushed it too far and too hard, and I screwed up. So, and it's part, I hate to say it, but it's part of breeding when you try Russian stuff, and you learn from your mistakes.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
here's this guy.
I mean, you look.
Plus the patterning, yeah.
Yeah, I've always liked that one, and I especially like him now that he proved out 100% het leucistic.
Yes. I mean, he's just probably one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful Texas rat out there.
Absolutely, because I don't even have one right now. You've got him.
Yeah.
This
well, he's going to do some work this year, so you're going to get a lot of babies.
Sweet. This one was 66% het, and I put him to females that were double hets. I put him to visual leucistics and no leucistics. So
okay.
Safe to say, sadly, but he is just a scaleless anery with no hets. But
oh yeah, just a scaleless anery.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. I can promise you that. He's this was Michelle's first snake that I gave her, and this is her baby. This is
okay.
Her baby Striker. When he first came out of the egg, he was
striking.
Yeah.
He was nonstop.
He was your typical Texas rat.
Yeah.
He actually struck at my dad. Kevin brought him over to one of my house one day, and my dad was holding him and struck at my dad, and my dad's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
But he's like the I wouldn't say he's probably pretty close to the cornerstone of the scaleless project that I have here. He's definitely up there, other than his dad. His dad is the one that obviously got me started in it, which he is just a massive giant. And Michelle doesn't like him, but I've had no problems with him.
I have no problem with him. It's just that one picture from your parents' house that you sent me. He sent me years ago a picture of him on the railing, just sitting on the railing. And I'm like, yeah, that's a big snake. You can keep it with it. But do you want it?
No, it should be fine.
But he's a big boy.
So I've seen there's someone local to me that has brought a Texas rat to a show a couple times, and it's the biggest one I've ever seen. It's got to be over 6 feet, and it's thick. It's a big snake.
I mean, he's pretty long.
I was gonna say he's got to be 5.5 maybe.
Yeah, I would say at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, he could easily pound a large rat if I wanted to.
Okay.
But
wow.
He's 7 years old? I want to say, right around there.
Nice.
So he's still got some years left in him.
Yeah.
But I feed him two or three chicks or whatever doesn't eat a chick, because I like to feed like my females right before brumation. Feed them 2 chicks every feeding just to get some extra weight on them.
Right.
And then whatever doesn't eat the 2 chicks, or I try feeding something 3, he gets whatever's left. He's like garbage disposal.
Okay. He's the garbage disposal.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Any other Texas rat comments? Anything else I missed about them? Anything you want to enlighten the people with?
Don't be afraid to get into it. Don't be afraid to get your feet wet. It started with 1 pair for me in 2017, and now I've got 25 adult females and like 10 adult males. So, it's just what I like, and then I've got other stuff too, but that's my main focus is the Texas rat snakes.
Yeah, gotta work what you like, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And now, kind of segueing, because we talked about it already. You have a lot of different species, so I also want to know what other. Obviously, there's Colubrid Corruption. What other Colubrid species are you keeping right now?
Just corn snakes.
Corn snakes, okay.
I got a trio, or actually corns and king snakes. I've got a trio of 1.1 palmettos, and then a female het palmetto.
Very nice.
And some albino California king snakes, striped California king snakes. Other than that, that's about it.
Okay.
Words, yeah.
Gotcha. And then I wanted to segue into your all other reptiles, because you got a lot. You guys got a lot of stuff.
Yes.
And I definitely want to expand on it. Obviously, we were going colubrid oriented, but you guys have so much, and something I like talking about so much because I also keep the different species is the diversity in the hobby. And, obviously you have to enjoy these different species, but I think it's super important for people. And part of the reason why I made this podcast, and I'll say it again, it's a lot of it because I'm very much in this ball python world where a lot of other breeders, and again, it's no disrespect to them, they only keep ball pythons, and that's cool, that's fine. But I think their mind is also just closed a little bit to the idea that there are these other snakes out there besides other pythons and boas. And there's a lot of cool species. And me just showing some of these snakes on these different YouTube lives and things like that, I think it's bringing them a lot of light. And that's part of why I wanted to do this show, is bring some other species some light. But you have some cool stuff, pythons and other stuff. So let's talk a little bit about that.
I've got ball pythons, retics, Kenyan sand boas, milk snakes. I forgot about those.
Yeah.
Those milk snakes are hers. It's kind of she picked up, and Clint Bartley kind of excelled that program. We got 1.2 T positives. What were they? Nelsons from him?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Nelsons. Okay.
Yeah, we got those from him at Tinley. What else is there? Retics, the bloods, the Kenyan sand boas, the balls. I've got obviously crested geckos, gargoyle geckos,
Skinks.
blue tongue skinks, a couple of tegus.
Yeah.
Or not
fat tails. I've got Australian barking geckos.
Okay.
I just picked those up at Tinley.
Right. I remember
those things are badass. I love those. I actually want to get rid of my cresties and gargoyles and just work with those.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love, like, those things are awesome.
Yeah, my brother picked up a couple of cresties at Daytona. We wanted to get into them a little bit. They're cool. I like them.
Yeah, it's a nice entry level gecko, and like you said, diversifying what you have and going from there.
Yep. Now with obviously, we're talking things like the ball pythons, the bloods. I guess those stay at a little more manageable size. But let's talk about the retics a little bit, because those are totally different ball game, because we're talking some big-bodied animals. So what's that like, just keeping those in comparison to all your other things?
So I only have 2 at my house. My brother has 10 adult females, and I don't even know what males he has. Basically, if I see a retic I like, I buy it, and then I just give it to him. I say, take it to your house, plug it wherever you can. Like at Tinley, I bought a lavender albino sunfire platinum titanium. So basically just a pure orangish yellow snake. I told my brother, I was like, just put it to the platy golden child. She's like 18 feet she's pushing, and she's a big girl. She's probably 200 pounds.
Oh, wow.
We call her Puppy. Yeah, she's a big girl, but she's, you hear retic, but we can have her out and she'll just kind of relax, I guess you could say, with us.
Yeah.
But she's pretty chill. The only 2 that I have here, one is from Adam Wolf, which is what I traded for.
Right.
She's a 32.5% Kalatoa, 32.5% Jampea Anery Het Snow.
Okay.
And then the other one is a 25% Super Dwarf Platy, Motley, Golden Child, Tiger, Sunfire. I'd have to look back in my messages to see that she is, but she's basically just like a root beer brown snake. But
gotcha.
Put like another male to her, and hopefully you'll get a nice variety. Which my brother does all the retic stuff.
Okay.
This room here is like an L shaped, and it's one part of the L is 6 feet by 15 feet. The other one is 6 feet by 10 feet. So it's big enough, but to have a bunch of retics in it, that's
probably not.
Yeah, not big enough for me. So, but I've got my 2 little ones here, and once they get too big to be here, they'll go out to his house. He's only an hour and a half from me, 2 hours.
Okay. So cool. And you guys had a nice clutch this year with those, right? You guys had
we had 2 clutches. So the first clutch was I had to look back in the messages, but I know it was possible het blonde, 12.5% Jamp, platy motley golden child. That was the male. And then the female was a platy tiger het blonde. The male proved blonde. So he was actually a breeding that happened for us on accident. A pair got out, and they were out for, I think my brother was on vacation or something. They were out for like a week in a snake room.
Oh, wow.
And they bred, and that's at least the story he told my dad and I. We don't know if it's true or not, but that's what he told us. If
a good story.
If he did it on purpose, he came up with a pretty damn good story real quick. But so we actually proved the male to be his possible het proved blonde. So like our biggest like genetic powerful snake from that clutch was a golden child platinum blonde, I want to say. To be honest, that's all on him. You know, I've maybe seen them once or twice. I mean, they've been out of the egg for 6 months.
Okay.
Most recent,
and retic genetics, I know nothing about.
Yeah, so that's kind of like what I said. I'd have to look back in the message and see exactly what it is. But our most recent clutch of retics was actually a Partho clutch. I think I sent you the pictures of them.
I think you did.
So that was a purple jamp, 50% purple jamp female that was bred to the same male that proved het blonde. He was also possible het albino. And every snake that hatched out was a purple albino, and it was a female. And then on top of it, we got 2 pairs of twins. One pair didn't make it. The other one did. We're just starting to feed them now. So hopefully some of them make it. But being a Partho clutch and then getting twins, it's not something that happens very often.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yes, a pair of mainlands got out. So that room was destroyed. There was cages on the ground. Luckily, nothing else got out.
Yeah. No, that's good. All right, awesome. And then I wanted to go into what it's like being a Tinley vendor, because it's a whole family affair when you guys go to Tinley. Yes. You guys have a nice booth set up, and you have all your different species out. You guys have sold a lot of stuff, with a whole bunch of different species. I know even you guys sold Tegu to the bar checks a couple Tinleys ago.
Correct.
Yeah. And that's cool. So like what's it like being at Tinley and being like a cornerstone at that show every year? Because like we kind of said before, I forget if it was backstage or not, but like Tinley is one of the most renowned shows in the country, and I have to make it there so I can actually meet you in person. But tell us a little bit about that.
It's an experience in itself. Only living 20 minutes from it. We don't stay at the hotel or anything, but it's still like a vacation.
Right.
You talk to your friends, like when you finally decide to come up here, it'll be nice. But it's just, I don't even know how to explain it. We have 2 booths there. We split it 4 ways, so it's not very expensive for each one of us to do it.
Right.
So basically, if we sell one animal, we're ahead.
Gotcha.
So, but both my brother and his girlfriend are teachers. My dad is a mechanic, so they're always at work. I'm a firefighter and a mechanic, so I'm always busy, but most of the time I'm able to get the Friday off. So I set everything up. We've got a trailer that we keep everything in. Sometimes Michelle will help me. Sometimes she'll get in the way. We'll keep it on the down low.
Thanks. Next time I just won't help you.
Whatever. But, set up on Friday is just when the fun starts. It's just it's everyone, let's go make money. Let's go make money. It's, for us, it's more of a fun thing.
And it's a vacation for me too.
Yeah, she gets to get some time away from me, and I get to spend it back with people, you don't get to talk to a lot, and different parts of the country, the world. So.
Yeah. And Michelle, I wanted to ask you, so were you into reptiles before you met Kevin? Like, how did this come about for you? Because I could see you're definitely a part of it. But yeah, so how did that come about?
When I was younger, so I grew up with animals. At my parents, we have 2 dogs and a turtle. My dad actually rescued our turtle. Our neighbors at our old house or a tortoise, I should say.
Turtle.
Box turtle. Okay. Thought she could swim. And they brought her back from Indiana, threw her in the pool, and realized, oh, she can't swim. Well, they just chucked her in the alley. And when my dad found her, she was missing her front leg and her back leg. So my dad brought her home, took her to the vet. Vet told us that she was a male. A couple days later, she laid an egg. And this was even before I was even around. But just growing up and watching and playing with her, it was a lot of fun. And then years ago at what was it, at the college, that
University of Chicago,
I think so, there was reptile shows, and that's where I met Bubba. I can't think of the guy's name.
Jim Nessie, was it?
Yeah,
Jim Nessie.
And so I fell in love with just the alligators and holding snakes, and I fell in love with them. My mom didn't want any part of it. Like, she said, no reptiles in the house, nothing like that. I'm like, okay, well, if we come to these shows every year, I get my reptile fix then.
Yes.
So we started doing that, and as I got older, it kind of didn't go anymore. And I still loved the animals, but I just didn't get to go. And then I met Kevin, and he had reptiles and everything, and kind of just hit it off. Got my
bad influence. I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had a tarantula when we first started dating, and I don't mess with spiders, so I was like, "You're on your own."
I'm with you there. The spiders are a no for me.
Like, I like looking at them, but I won't touch the damn things.
Yeah.
I actually got the gecko before.
No, you had Charlotte the spider.
I swear I got.
No.
Okay. Anyways, had the spider for a little bit, then went to a reptile show that he was vending at and picked up a crested gecko.
Okay.
Not from me, though. Not from me.
Oh, man.
No, not for him. Sorry. But picked up a gecko and just fell in love. And then he surprised me on birthday or whatever it was, anniversary. Wanted a skink because I fell in love with skinks. Like, I just loved the blue tongues.
Yeah.
And he surprised me one day by bringing over a blue tongue skink as a gift. My mom was not thrilled, but she now loves Skiz. Like, whenever she's over, like, she'll always ask about how Skiz doing, how is the milk snake doing. Like, she's always curious about how the snakes and the skink are doing.
Well, I got you the banana genetics right before the skink.
Yeah,
so
but that was mostly at your house because Mom again wouldn't allow snakes in the house. They had to have 4 legs.
Gotcha.
At first, and then she got the milk snake from me, and then I think I gave her some gecko eggs to hatch. I was like, "Here, try hatching these. We'll see how it goes."
Yeah, Mom loved watching the gecko eggs hatch. So my mom has come around and everything.
Okay, that's awesome.
But my mom and dad, they loved animals. They just didn't want things that slithered in the house.
Okay.
So
my mom's not particularly a fan, but they're in the garage now, so she's a little happier about it. Still not that happy.
Right.
See, but the more she's exposed to them, she probably gets more comfortable with them, right?
I got her to hold a ball python at one of the shows I vended. It's been 12 years I've been keeping snakes, and I finally got her to hold one. Like, recently, like last month.
And that's my whole thing with this hobby is, if people aren't exposed to this stuff, they're going to be afraid of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, the Texas rat snakes are, it's nobody deals with them the way that, like, how many other people in the hobby have 40 adult females or breeders, not females, but all together. Of just Texas rat snakes,
It was Matt until he sent them to you.
Yeah. Well, he only sent me like 10, I want to say.
Yeah.
So.
And full circle, I now have 2 of Matt's snakes, which is funny. 2 of Matt's Texas rats.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, the ones I got from Kent recently. Those were
okay.
produced. They were produced by Matt.
That's right. Yeah, the triple heads, right?
Yup. Those are gonna be fun.
I thought you were talking about what'd you buy, bamboo rat snakes or something?
Well, those are from him too, but yeah.
Yeah, Matt keeps bugging me. He's like, "Hey man, you got to call me. I'm working too much. You got to take a rack." I was like, "Dude, I don't have any more room in my
whole rack."
Yeah, I was like, I don't have any more room in my snake room, and I just built it. I can't go any bigger. Michelle will kill me.
Yeah.
Depending
Also,
on what snake.
yeah, while we're talking about him, I do want to give Matt a shout out. I've been watching Matt's Facebook for as long as like we've been talking. Matt's been like my inspiration of like
I
Colubrid.
love talking to Matt.
Yeah. And even now over the last year or so, me and him have talked a little bit more, which is cool. Because I think he also sees that I have the passion that, you know, he likes seeing in people.
Exactly. Yes.
So now having a couple of his snakes, very cool. Also, shout out to the Colubrid and Colubroid Radio, Matt, Dr. Loafman, and Clint. I love that show, yes. And that was part of the inspiration for this. So absolutely no digs on them because I love them and I love that show. Absolutely. I just wanted to bring a different type of show to the platform, but big respect to them because
so much knowledge in their podcast.
Oh yeah,
what species it is? There's just, you know, like I've had so much success with the Texas rat snakes. Like I still listen to the podcast and I still pick up on stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, okay, well maybe I'll try that this year. So I'll try that. Try this. Try that. You know.
Yeah. No, 100%. And that's why I need to get some more. I need to get some people on here. So we're hopefully keep it growing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So I got a few more things for you. So right now, what do you foresee the future of Offspring Reptiles becoming? Do you have any foreseeable plans with anything, any species additions, anything like that? Or is it just keeping the train rolling with what's going and see as it goes?
Probably just keeping the train rolling, see where it goes. You know, I'm at a happy number here.
Yeah.
130 snakes in the room here.
Okay.
And that's a comfortable number for Michelle and myself to take care of. Mostly me, but she'll come down
right.
sometimes. I can understand her, you know, she takes care of other stuff around the house, which is nice.
Right.
My brother, he's just about out on room with the retics. That's his main focus. I mean, he's got a few ball pythons.
Okay.
And they've got a bunch of crested geckos. They've probably got 30 or 40 pairs at their house.
Cool.
My dad just had knee surgery, so when we moved here, it's kind of we took all the snakes and everything from him.
Gotcha.
He just has the skinks.
Yeah, he's just taking care of the skinks right now. I might tell him to try cooling them and having him breed them in the spring. He really likes those, so those might just stay there. You know.
Okay. Awesome.
So, you know, we've been in it for a while. We just want to see more stuff. Like obviously everybody wants to see more stuff produced, but you know, we're very picky on our breeders on what we buy or most of the stuff we produce and we raise up and breed it again. We don't, you know, we drag race too. We have very expensive hobbies. So we can't go out and spend 10 grand on a snake that's got the latest and greatest genetics. It's just like I talked to you about the Kiki project with stuff, and I've got 4 or 5 double hets that should go next year.
Yeah, there's some people in the chat that work some Kiki. I know that for a fact. So
maybe we're not going to talk about that then. We're not gonna, no, that's
wait. Why? No, I'm saying they work with the Kiki, so they'll be looking out for your stuff.
Shh. No, we're so. I'm not a big ball python person, but my main goal with the Kiki is I've always liked purple passions, so I like to do a Kiki purple passion or a Mystic Potion Kiki, which I've got the stuff here to make it next year. So
awesome.
We're hoping, and then just some other double head stuff around. Basically, whatever. Like the ball pythons are Michelle's stuff. If she likes it, you know, it's like okay, well, what are we gonna breed to it, or what are we gonna do with it?
Just hold it.
And then it's like, and then she gives me the puppy dog eyes. And it's like, okay, well, I had a good show this show, so I've got money to spend. So fine, screw it. What's one more mouth to feed? You know,
right?
So,
and talk about that drag racing a little bit because I see you post a ton of it on Facebook. So that's another hobby that you're into. So talk about that. We've never talked about it, so I want to hear it for the first time.
So I started racing when I was 12 years old on one of the half-scale cars, the Junior Dragster. It's got like a lawnmower engine on it, but they're like super performance. They're aluminum blocks. They're running on methanol alcohol fuel.
Okay.
But they'll run, I think the fastest I went, like being 12, 13 years old, was 73 miles an hour. Like, no remote control or anything. That's me driving down the drag strip, you know.
Right.
So I started doing that, and then at 15, I got a full-size car, and luckily the track let me race it, like not having my driver's license. So I did that. That was a front-engine dragster, which is like what they had in the 60s, 50s, 60s, something like that. Then sophomore, junior year of high school, I got too big for that, outgrew that. And then that's when my brother got a 98 Camaro. That was the first car I ever painted. I did body work for 3 years, so
Cool.
it's a big pat on the back for me. It's a black car, and it's as straight as an arrow.
Nice.
So that's got a big block Chevy with a bunch of nitrous on it. We haven't had that out a lot. My dad got real sick, something with his liver. He doesn't smoke or drink, and that kind of sat for a while. What else do we have? We have a rear engine dragster that we bought 2 years ago that I've raced the past 2 years, and that runs 7.7 seconds a quarter mile, about 180 miles an hour. So then we've got it's like a funny car. It's got a full fiberglass body that flips up, but it's not like your typical funny car that you see on like NHRA on TV. It's just injected on alcohol, big block Chevy. So it'll run about 8.9 seconds a quarter mile, 150. I'm going to actually work on a couple cars. When we moved here, guy in the neighborhood, he's like semi-pro. He's got an old funny car that runs on nitromethane. And I started talking to him, and he's like, if you want to come crew for me, work on the car with me this year. I was like, dude, I'm so strung right now with everything I do that I don't know if I'll have time because the reptiles is my enjoyment, the racing is my enjoyment, but still, you're still putting in work and everything. And then I crew for a car that's got a jet engine on the back. The guy just started racing it again last year. He crashed it in 2018 at 257 miles an hour. He hit the wall.
Oof.
Yeah, he compression fractured 2 vertebrae, and but he's back in it. This car is a lot faster, a lot lighter. I think since he started racing this car, it hasn't gone any slower than 300 miles an hour.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he wants to teach me to drive that one. I was like, no, that's too
much. Yeah, maybe not that one.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, it'd be cool, but it's just, no thanks.
Girlfriend wants him somewhat safe.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Well, that's like another thing. Like, I don't know if you can see any of the tubs in here, but they're not labeled, which is one thing that she gets on me about. She's like, how do you know what this is? How do you know what that is? I was like, just remember what the hell it is. And she's like, well,
I do. I don't have as many snakes as you guys, but I could do the same thing. I know where everyone is.
Exactly. Yeah. and that was one of the things. She's like, well, when we do get the house, like this was before we moved in and everything. She's like, you're going to have to label it. And well, we've been here since August 21st and still don't have labels on them.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's
all right.
Kind of Russian roulette with any snake you pull out.
Yeah.
Who knows which one you're pulling?
It's either a ball python or a Texas rat coming at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because now looking at it, the only 2 tubs that have like a red N on them are the Retix tubs. So make sure you remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mess with that side except the top one, which the skink is in. But
Gotcha. All right. So circling back to the snakes a little bit. So we're going to go back to the Texas rat. So what would you say to someone looking to get into a Texas rat in particular, or maybe even another colubrid species? They're primarily like a python or boa person. They've never really had exposure to the colubrids. Like, what would you be saying to these people? Just in terms of like teaching. That's what I'm always about. I'm always about educating and teaching, and even bringing my Texas rat to these shows. These are animals people have never seen before. So how do you go about that?
Basically tell like anyone who's like new or I've never seen that before. It's like, well, if they got ball pythons or something, a lot of people keep them with heat. They got to have the humidity and everything. I'd be like, well, be ready to learn about the easiest snake to take care of.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, corn snake. Well, these are a bigger corn snake,
Right.
So just they obviously poop a lot more than a ball python or a blood python, a retic, a boa. Because like we talked about earlier, I mean, you feed them every 3 days. If you wanted to, you could feed them every 3 days, but you're cleaning that much poop every.
Yeah.
And it's not a little bit of poop either. So
No, it is not.
But I just tell them, like, get ready for the easiest snake you've ever taken care of.
Yeah. No, and also I have to give you definitely the biggest props, and like part of why I think we are friends. I think you have some of the best Texas rat snakes out there. Like I really don't think anyone else's quality besides stock from Matt really touches yours. In terms of definitely the scaleless stuff, and I know there's stuff around, stuff here and there. Obviously, the female that bred with your male this year, they both threw some nice babies, but like just in general, the amount of variability and the niceness of your animals is really just top notch, the top quality that I see around. So just shout out to that.
Thank you. Like I said, that's like we try finding the best of the best. And if we think we can make better, then that's what we do. That's kind of our Offspring Reptiles thing is we like what we buy quality, and then if we want to have something better, we obviously breed two of the best, and then we hold on to those babies and bring them back.
Yeah. Oh, and something we didn't touch on, kind of more like ethics in the hobby, and it's something I see a lot. I would say like Texas rats, the forgotten Pantherophis, we see animals that are hybridized. We'll see animals labeled as like the bubble gum. Like, how do you feel about all? I mean, I know you feel the same as me, but like, what do you think we can do as a hobby to like kind of break down on that? Or is there even any way for us to stop that? Because we see a ton of, North American rat snake hybrids, and people don't know any better. First-time pet buyers don't know any better. And we're here with our purebred Texas rats and, kind of seeing people sell scaleless intergrades. So
exactly. And so I'm in Illinois. I cannot have black rat snakes.
Right. Yes.
I cannot have scaleless corn snakes either. So I am when I first started getting more stock in, I was very selective, and I asked, where did these come from? Where did those parents come from? I wanted to make sure my stuff was as clean cut and as pure could be. So that was kind of my main focus with the Texas rat snakes. So I don't know, like I think I have one scaleless Everglades female, and I had a pair of them. I sold the male, and she's just sitting in a rack. I should probably sell her. It's one less mouth to feed, but it's in the rack, so I open the tub, feed it, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean that's what I had going on with that one boy. I know we talked about him for a while. It was an albino. It was given to me as an albino Texas rat snake, but like as it grew, it was very clear that it just didn't look like a Texas rat. The head was a little too narrow. The color was off. And funny enough, it was from the breeder who I got like my original two scaleless animals from, my big scaleless boy and my scaleless leucistic, which is why I thought it was weird in the first place. But I don't know. I hope that's a one-off.
And that's kind of the other thing. It's like, okay, he's saying it's a Texas rat snake. He probably bought it as a Texas rat snake, but who did he buy it from, and what did they breed it from?
Yeah. No, that's definitely possible. That could have been what happened.
And that's like I said, that's why I was really selective in what I bought and why I bought the stuff I bought.
Yeah, no, totally got ya. All right, so my wrap-up question is kind of similar to Matt's. I'm taking a page out of Matt's book. So what are your thoughts on the hobby as it stands right now? What about the future? Where do you think we're at, and what do you think we as a full circle hobby are working towards with these animals?
So, I'm sure if you ask anyone, they'll say, "Oh, sales are down. Sales are down."
Yeah.
Our hobby, it happens.
Yeah.
I've been in it since I was 3 years old. Yeah, you don't remember much from when you're young, but talking to my brother, talking to my dad, it happens. Just like any market, any anything that like is somebody's hobby. It's not like for Clint. Obviously, you want up, 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 up.
Right.
But for us, like you and I, it's a hobby. Obviously, when sales are down, it kind of sucks, because you can't reinvest your money back into it. But at Tinley, I sold out of all my normal scales. I sold out of all.
And I'm with you there. My goal is to make nice normal scaleless animals. I don't even care as much about the double visuals because I know the scaleless animals will fly because I know what stock I have and I know I'm going to make some nice animals.
Exactly. So, and that's so like, yeah, you got your scaleless aneries, your scaleless leucistics. Hopefully in the next couple of years we'll have scaleless snows, but they're not going to be the cheapest.
Yeah.
They're cool. They're cool looking, but it's, the scaleless leucistic. Okay, it's a pure white snake that's scaleless with blue eyes. Or you get just a normal scaleless that's, killer oranges, killer reds.
Yeah.
Super blacks or, striped.
And the animals we hatched this year were absolutely badass. There's no other words for it. And they get better with every shed.
This is the one that you sent me with the striped size on it. I don't know how much you'll be able to see.
Was that the boy?
I
think that's the boy.
I want to say it's the boy, but the stripes on him are just ridiculous.
Yeah, he looks like he got even better color.
Yeah, oh yeah, and that's kind of the cool thing with the Texas rat snakes is they pick up color. Not like a retic that hatches out orange and then turns yellow as an adult. You get a Texas rat snake that looks pretty dull as a baby, and you'll be surprised what it turns into.
Yeah, I think that's one of the perks of the Texas rats is like these guys get better with age for sure.
Absolutely.
A lot of North American rats. You see even yellow rat snakes, they hatch out looking gray, looking like any other rat snake, and then they color as they age, and it's just awesome to see them go through that change.
Everglades are the same way.
Yeah. So I even look back at pictures of the cadmium when they were hatchlings.
They look like a normal. They look like
holy. Well, no, they don't even look like a normal, but they're actually a little bit. They're like a little bit more brown, but like now the colors that are coming through, it's just insane.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I think that's about it. Do you have any other comments? Anything else you want to share?
You want to see anything?
You took out that blood python before. I think you have to show it for the people.
All right. We'll see. If I get bit.
If she's not going to be an asshole. Guys, he showed me this backstage before the show started. This animal's huge. Very impressive.
This is one of our big T positive girls that's hopefully going to go this year. And she is just massive.
Yeah, look at that.
And she is not going to cooperate like she did earlier. That's we've had blood pythons for probably close to eight years, and we have not hit a successful clutch with them. So
yeah, they're kind of your white whale, so you're really shooting.
Yeah, hopefully this is the year. But they're going back to like getting discouraged, You try different things, and hopefully it's the year. Yeah, 100%. We've hit slugs. We've hit good eggs that have gone bad in the incubator. We had a clutch that looked like went full term. We thought we saw veins in it. We cut the eggs open. Nothing but yolk.
Really?
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, those are kind of a big project for us this year and past years, and hopefully this is the year though.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be fun, man. Especially, I'm definitely seeing that avenue, like that species, bloods, all the short tails. That's growing in popularity. So you're onto something there for sure. They're very cool. I don't know if I'd get into something like that. My girlfriend just texted me, "Don't ever buy that." As she saw that on the screen.
What if it's given to you? You can't say you bought it.
That's a good point.
Quit being a bad influence.
Hey, he's got the Texas rat snake down there.
That's true. But yeah, so no, you're definitely going down a good lane with that. I've been seeing some really cool animals. Like I saw there was one really cool vendor at Daytona that had a ton there. And just besides that, I see people in other chats and whatnot talking about the bloods and short tails. So that's a cool thing to get into. All right, so where can people find you guys on social media? I know you're not as active on things, but you do post on Facebook a lot. So
yeah. So like I said, we just moved. So not just moved, but I work 2 full-time jobs. So if you message me, it might take a little bit to get back. Just like when you were saying, hey, when can we do the podcast? Like, we can try this, we can try that. But Offspring Reptiles on Facebook, Instagram. We even go back to we've got an AOL account, Offspring Reptiles at AOL.com. We're that old school. So we have mostly Facebook and Instagram. Either Offspring Reptiles on both. My personal Instagram is Gecko Poppy for life. I've had that for years. Or you can get a hold of Joe and he can.
I can put you in touch with Kevin for sure. All right. Well, this was awesome, guys. So I'm not sure. I believe I saw there was about like 22, I think a few more people in the chat. What do you have to say to everyone that was here supporting you tonight and, checking out what you had to say about these snakes and whatnot?
Thank you guys so much. If you got any questions about Texas rat snakes, anything that we have, anything that I showed, definitely get a hold of me, get a hold of Joe. We can either get you taken care of. If you want something, we can get you taken care of question-wise. I'm open to trades. I've got a lot. So, if you got something that, I don't like this anymore. I want to try getting a Texas rat snake. Hit me up. Worst I can say is, where's that going to go or where's it going to fit in a project? I've got a little bit of anything or everything. So,
yeah. 100%. Well, Kevin, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here and being my first guest, and happy to call you a friend in this hobby. You've helped me out a lot and inspired me with the Texas rat snakes a lot. So I'm very appreciative of you, all the help you've given me over the years. So just want to say thank you to you.
Well, that's
because you've been awesome.
You and I talked, and you're like, man, I really like the scaleless alien reasons. I really like them. I was like, it's expensive snake, and you're what, 21 years old?
I'm 22, almost 23 now.
Okay. So, but I think when we first started talking to him, you were like 19 or 20.
Yeah, I was a bit younger.
Damn expensive snake. And then, I kept watching the stuff you post. I was like, man, this guy, he wants it. He's got the passion for the hobby. And I was like, hey, if this scaleless anery male doesn't sell it at Tinley, I'll send him to you, and you can breed him to whatever or do whatever you want. So,
yeah, and I have the utmost appreciation for that because that's what's furthered. I mean, the babies in my rack are all thanks to you because it wouldn't be those babies if it wasn't from your male. So that was just awesome.
And I think that's what's going to really drive this hobby is helping each other out.
Yeah.
I was listening to Matt's podcast or the Zach and Clint on the podcast the other day. And they were talking about the Morph Market sale, and there's 102,000 animals on Morph Market for sale.
Yeah,
102,000. So what are people holding back? How many animals are there actually out there? God forbid you send somebody something to help them further their project, and then they send back some babies. So I saw that as a snake just sitting in my rack here, eating food where you're young, you obviously have the drive to be in this hobby. We've talked for years, and I was like, it's not doing anything for me here when it can help you. And then obviously now I have scaleless leucistic, head anery. I've got a pair of double heads. So obviously I helped you. It helps me. So
yeah, 100%.
If we keep doing that, and it's going to do great things.
Yeah. No, it's awesome, and I definitely appreciate our friendship, and I know you work with some other people on stuff like that. So I think that's what this hobby needs. I think it's that more camaraderie. There's a little bit of And I understand it because there is some business behind it. It's like a competitive thing, but to some people it is still a hobby. It's not just a business. It's a side thing.
Exactly.
And that's cool. So
that's
I'm kind of trying to do a mix of both, and I know you do a little bit too. So
yeah, but if somebody sees, like I've told Clint, I've told Matt, I've told you, if I post something and you guys can use it in your breeding project or something, let me know, because 9 times out of 10, I probably got a double of it, and I'll send it to you. Like I picked up a king rat snake with a albino leucistic female. I asked Clint, I was like, hey, do you want to throw this in your breeding group and then just give me a couple babies if it produces? He's like, sure, why not? So I just gave it to him because obviously I wanted the Texas rat snake and I didn't have a use for that. So, it's and that goes for like, if I post a ball python and you can use it, like I've sent you lists and stuff. Hey, I can pick this up for this. Do you have any use?
Yep.
And that goes for like anything I produce down the line. You show me respect and we have a good conversation, good working relationship. I've got no problem sending stuff to people. I mean, that Texas rat snake, I've never met you before. I just sold one for $2,000. And that wasn't even a het leucistic. So I mean, what's that snake that's down by you worth?
A lot.
To me, it's not even the dollar amount. It's it's the friendships that we make and what we can produce.
Yeah. No, 100%. So guys, this has been awesome. We've been going for about an hour 10, a little bit more. Kevin and Michelle, thank you so much again for being here. Everyone in the chat, thank you so much for hanging out. Why don't we give it up for Kevin and Michelle? Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I'll throw you guys backstage. I'll do the outro. We can talk after.
Cool. Sounds good.
All right. Guys, I hope you all enjoyed tonight's show. I had a really good time, and I think this is only going to get better as the weeks go on. Tune in for some more Colubrid talk. Working on a guest for next week. We will see what kind of snakes we're talking about next week, but stay tuned. Look at the social media, subscribe to YouTube if you're watching the replay. Thanks for hanging out this long. Everyone here, share this out to your friends. Make sure you hit that subscribe, share it out. Like I said, yeah. All right, guys, have a good night. Peace. Let's see how long it takes to end.